Imagine, for a moment, that the plastic and glass you were about to discard today aren't trash at all, but the building blocks of a hidden kingdom. Picture your morning garden, where sunlight catches a floating crystal, revealing the delicate dance of roots underwater. Imagine the sound of glass chimes singing with the wind, and the soft glow of fairy lanterns tucked between old branches. This isn't a dream. It's a sanctuary you can build with your own hands. Today, let's blur the lines between what is broken and what is beautiful. Welcome back to Home and Garden Borneo, your quiet corner for all things rustic and whimsical. If you believe that a beautiful garden shouldn't cost a fortune, you're in the right place. We curate high-end DIY ideas that breathe life into old materials, and we bring these stories to you every single week. If this resonates with your soul, please subscribe and join our growing family of creators. Before we begin, I'd love to know, which part of the world are you watching from today? Let us know in the comments below. One, the floating crystal garden. Close your eyes and imagine a secret corner of your garden where the air feels lighter and the light dances in ways you've never seen. Picture a series of suspended glass vessels, as clear as mountain springs, cradled by the soft, organic touch of weathered jute rope. Inside these floating sanctuaries, the water holds a secret, the silent, elegant growth of life itself. You can see the delicate white roots of a pothose or a heartleaf philodendron as they reach out like tiny, underwater lace, drinking in the stillness of the afternoon. These aren't just bottles. They are windows into the soul of nature's patience. As they sway gently from the sturdy branch of an old mango tree or a rustic wooden beam, they catch the golden hour's glow, scattering rainbows across your garden floor. It is a reminder that beauty doesn't need to be grounded to be real. It teaches us that even when things feel uprooted, they can still find a way to flourish in the light, supported by nothing but grace and a little bit of clear water. Watch as the breeze turns your garden into a living gallery, a place where the forgotten glass of yesterday becomes the crystal heartbeat of today. Two, the rustic Firefly lanterns. Imagine the sun beginning to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in shades of bruised purple and soft gold. As the world grows quiet, your garden begins to breathe in a different light. Nestled within the gnarled branches of an old tree or tucked safely inside a weathered wooden crate, you see them, tiny, flickering pulses of light that look like captured fireflies. These are your lanterns, born from old amber glass and the rustic charm of the earth. Each vessel carries a cluster of micro-LEDs that shimmer through the glass, casting a warm, honeyed glow onto the surrounding moss and stones. Wrapped in rough twine or held by aged wire, they feel like artifacts from a forgotten time. There is a profound peace in this sight. It reminds us that even in the deepest shadows, we can create our own light. It's a tribute to the quiet evenings spent on the porch, a celebration of the small flickers of hope that guide us home. As these lanterns sway in the evening breeze, they turn your garden into a living poem, a place where the boundary between the earth and the stars begins to fade away. Now, the darkness is no longer something to fear, but a canvas for your own stardust to shine. 3. The vertical moss window. Imagine standing before a portal that leads not to another room, but back to the very heart of the forest. Picture a window where the glass has been replaced by a living, breathing tapestry of emerald velvet. This is a sanctuary of stillness, where the humble moss, the oldest storyteller of the woods, finds a home within the curves of reclaimed vessels. Notice how the soft, pillowy textures of the moss contrast with the delicate fronds of a hidden fern, all nestled together in a mosaic of green. Every time you mist this living wall, the scent of damp earth and wild rain fills the air, grounding you in the present moment. It is a reflection of how nature colonizes the forgotten corners of our lives, turning a simple wall into a monument of resilience and peace. This vertical garden reminds us that we don't need vast acres to touch the wild. We only need the willingness to nurture the small, quiet lives that grow beneath our feet. It is a celebration of the timeless bond between the stones we lay and the life that inevitably softens them. As you gaze into this green window, you aren't just looking at a decoration. You are looking at a heartbeat, a tiny ecosystem that breathes with you. Four, the infinity water path. Imagine the soft, rhythmic song of water as it travels through a hidden trail in your garden, a sound that instantly washes away the noise of the outside world. Picture a path where gravity and light work together, guided by the humble curves of repurposed vessels that mimic the flow of a mountain stream. This is the infinity water path, a living sculpture where every drop tells a story of movement and return. See how the water sparkles as it spills from one level to the next, dancing over smooth river stones and mossy edges. It travels through channels crafted with love, disappearing only to rise again in a beautiful, never-ending cycle. There is a deep, emotional resonance in this flow. It reflects the cycles of our own lives, the way we move through obstacles, finding our rhythm, and always returning to a place of peace. It reminds us that even the simplest materials can create a grand symphony when they are aligned with the pulse of nature. As you sit by this gentle cascade, you feel a timeless bond with the earth, a sense of togetherness with the elements that ground and sustain us. This is more than just a water feature. It is a meditation in motion, a reminder that peace is not the absence of movement, but the harmony within it. Five, the Bohemian Root Sanctuary. Imagine a world where we no longer hide what is happening beneath the surface, but instead, we celebrate the quiet strength of the unseen. Picture a grand, transparent vessel, perhaps once a simple container, now transformed into a sacred hall for the soul of a plant. This is the Bohemian root sanctuary, where the intricate, wild architecture of a monster's roots is finally given the spotlight it deserves. Wrapped in the intricate knots of hand-woven macrame, these vessels hang like organic jewels in the dappled sunlight. You can see every fiber, every thirsty reach of the roots as they weave through the water, creating a living lace that tells the story of survival and nourishment. There is a deep, philosophical beauty here. It reminds us that our own growth often happens in the dark, in the quiet places where no one looks. It's a celebration of transparency, of being brave enough to show the world how we sustain ourselves. As the light filters through the glass and the tangled roots, it creates a sanctuary of peace, a place where memory and nature intertwine. It's a gentle reminder that to bloom beautifully above, we must first learn to anchor ourselves deeply in the truth of who we are. As you watch the roots slowly claim their space, you realize that the most beautiful part of the garden isn't just the leaf. It's the silent journey that brings it to life. The Solitary Bee Palace. Imagine a small, quiet sanctuary tucked away in the crook of a sun-drenched branch, a place where the tiny, tireless architects of our garden find a home. This is the Solitary Bee Palace, a testament to the big roles played by the smallest lives. Picture a vessel reclaimed from the world of humans, now filled with the textures of the earth. Hollow bamboo reeds, dry straw, and fragments of ancient bark. It is a rustic mosaic of hollows and shadows, designed not for the swarm, but for the lonely wanderer. There is a deep, quiet joy in watching a single bee find refuge here, knowing that your hands built the bridge between their survival and your garden's bloom. It reminds us that every great ecosystem is built on thousands of small, unseen acts of kindness. This little palace, wrapped in weathered twine and disguised by the natural world, is a beautiful symbol of our commitment to the earth. A promise that even the humblest creature has a seat at the table in our sanctuary. As the sun warms the bark and the bees begin their dance, you realize that true garden magic isn't just about the flowers we see, but the life we protect within the shadows. Seven, the Rainwater Collector Chime. Imagine a garden that sings when the clouds begin to weep. Picture a series of glass bells, carved from the bottles of yesterday, hanging in a delicate vertical line like a frozen waterfall. This is the Rainwater Collector Chime, a beautiful marriage of utility and music. When the rain falls, these vessels catch the precious gift of the sky, letting it overflow from one glass heart to the next with a soft, liquid melody. And when the wind follows the storm, the glass dances, clinking gently together in a crystalline symphony that echoes through the trees. It is a reminder that even the storms in our lives bring their own music and their own nourishment. This chime teaches us to be open to what the universe gives us, catching the grace of the moment and turning it into something that sings. It is a reflection of the timeless bond between the sky and the earth, a way to honor the water that sustains us while creating a song that heals us. In the quiet after the rain, as the glass drips and the wind whispers, you feel a deep sense of peace, knowing that you've turned a simple vessel into a vessel for the soul of the garden. 8. The Butterfly Oasis. Imagine a small, vibrant altar dedicated to the wanderers of the sky. Picture a shallow basin, crafted from the base of a clear vessel, resting gently on a bed of old stones or a rustic wooden stump. Inside, it isn't just water you see, but a mosaic of colorful marbles and smooth sea glass, shimmering like jewels in the afternoon sun. This is the Butterfly Oasis, a place of rest for the delicate wings that dance through your garden. The stones and marbles aren't just for beauty. They provide a safe landing, a place for the butterflies to perch and drink without the fear of the deep. There is a profound tenderness in this simple creation. It reflects our desire to provide comfort to the fragile, to be the guardians of the beauty that flutters by. It reminds us that even a small act of hospitality can create a ripple of life. As you watch a monarch or a swallowtail descend to touch the cool, damp surface of a marble, you feel a connection to the rhythm of the seasons, a sense of togetherness with the wild. This oasis is a celebration of the fleeting moments, a way to anchor the ephemeral magic of wings to the steady heart of your garden. In this quiet corner, time seems to slow down, allowing you to witness the gentle intersection of a thirsty traveler and a thoughtful heart. 9. The Miniature Greenhouse Dome. Imagine a world in miniature, where the air is always warm and the tiny lives inside are safe from the biting frost or the hungry wind. Picture a dome of clear, protective glass, or a vessel that mimics it, resting over a single, delicate sprout. This is the miniature greenhouse dome, a cathedral for the beginning of life. Decorated with a tiny, rustic fairy door or a simple handle made of an old cork, it looks like a scene from a storybook. There is an emotional weight to this site. It represents our instinct to protect what is vulnerable, to nurture the potential that lies within a single seed. It reminds us that all great things start small, requiring nothing but a safe space and a little bit of warmth to grow. This dome is a symbol of hope, a way to bridge the gap between the harshness of the elements and the fragile dreams of a gardener. As the condensation forms inside, creating a soft mist against the glass, you feel a deep sense of peace, knowing that beneath this humble shelter, a new story is quietly unfolding. It is a tribute to the patience of the earth, a reminder that with the right protection, even the smallest life can reach for the sun. 10. The Herb Kitchen Tower. Imagine stepping just outside your kitchen door into a fragrant, vertical forest that smells of crushed basil, spicy oregano, and fresh mint. Picture a tower of terracotta-hued vessels, rising toward the sun like a living pillar of flavor. This is the Herb Kitchen Tower, where the art of gardening meets the soul of a home-cooked meal. Each level of this tower is a sanctuary for a different aroma, a curated collection of life that turns a plain wall into a sensory masterpiece. There is a deep, emotional connection in growing what we eat. It brings us back to a simpler time when the distance between the earth and our plate was just a few rhythmic steps. It reminds us that togetherness often begins around a table filled with the sense of a garden we nurtured ourselves. This tower is a celebration of abundance in small spaces, a way to honor the timeless bond between the hands that plant and the hearts that are fed. As you reach out to pluck a sprig of rosemary, you aren't just gathering an ingredient. You are harvesting a memory, a quiet moment of peace in the middle of a busy day. In this vertical sanctuary, the garden becomes an extension of your home, breathing life and flavor into every corner of your existence. The Mosaic Pebble Path. Imagine walking upon a path where every step is a story, a vibrant mandala etched into the very skin of the earth. Picture the colorful caps of forgotten vessels, once destined for a landfill, now rearranged into a kaleidoscope of patterns beneath your feet. This is the Mosaic Pebble Path, a celebration of how small, seemingly insignificant fragments can come together to create a grand design. Nestled between smooth river stones and wild moss, these colorful circles form a trail that guides you through the quiet corners of your sanctuary. There is a deep, philosophical beauty in this arrangement. It reminds us that our lives, too, are made of small moments, different colors, and varied shapes that only make sense when we look at the whole picture. It is a tribute to the patience of the Creator, a way to turn the act of walking into a meditative journey. As the morning dew clings to the plastic and the stones, the colors glow with a renewed spirit, inviting you to slow down and appreciate the ground that supports you. In this mosaic, the garden becomes a canvas, and every step you take is a brushstroke in a masterpiece of togetherness and rebirth. The glowing succulent wall. Imagine a garden that holds onto the sunlight long after the stars have appeared. Picture a vertical gallery of desert jewels, tiny, resilient succulents, resting in vessels that seem to whisper in the dark. This is the glowing succulent wall, where the rugged beauty of the dry earth meets a touch of stardust. By day, you see the soft pastels of Echeveria and the sharp lines of Haworthia, held by rustic wooden planks and reclaimed glass. But as the shadows lengthen, a secret is revealed. The edges of the vessels, touched with a hint of luminous magic, begin to pulse with a soft, ethereal light. There is an emotional resonance in this transition. It reflects the way our own inner light shines brightest when the world around us grows dark. It is a reminder that resilience doesn't have to be loud to be beautiful. This wall is a sanctuary of peace, a place where the stillness of the desert meets the whimsy of a fairy tale. As you sit in the quiet of the night, watching the soft glow illuminate the fleshy leaves, you feel a deep sense of calm, knowing that beauty never truly sleeps. The Dragonfly Feeder. Imagine a fragile, glittering visitor from the world of water and light, finding a place of sweetness in your garden. Picture a vessel so small and delicate it seems to float, decorated with wire wings that mimic the very creature it invites. This is the Dragonfly Feeder, a quiet tribute to the spirits of the air. Suspended by a copper thread, this tiny sanctuary holds a drop of life, a sweet nectar for the ancient, shimmering hunters of the sky. There is a profound sense of togetherness in this act. It is a bridge we build to connect our world with the wild, untamed beauty of nature. It reminds us that we are part of a larger web, where every creature has its place and its purpose. This feeder is a celebration of the ephemeral, the quick flash of a blue wing, the momentary stillness of a dragonfly in flight. As you watch them hover and land, you are reminded of the power of transformation, of how life can be both fragile and fierce at the same time. In this small offering, you find a deep connection to the spirit of the garden, a place where even the briefest encounter can leave a lasting memory on the heart. The Driftwood Planter Fusion. Imagine the meeting of two worlds, the weathered, salt-kissed bone of an old forest and the crystal-clear clarity of human design. Picture a piece of driftwood, sculpted by time and the elements, cradling a glass vessel like a precious secret. This is the Driftwood Planter Fusion, a marriage of the raw and the refined. The wood carries the memory of the tides and the wind, while the glass holds the promise of new life. Together, they create a sanctuary of rustic elegance, where a single air plant or a delicate flower find a home. There is an emotional weight to this union. It reflects how we, too, carry the scars of our past while still holding space for new growth. It is a reminder that beauty isn't found in perfection, but in the way different stories can lean on each other to create something whole. This planter is a celebration of the timeless bond between the land and the sea, a way to bring the wild, untamed energy of the coast into the quiet heart of your garden. As you touch the rough texture of the wood and the smooth surface of the glass, you feel a sense of peace, knowing that even the most weathered things can find a new purpose in the light. The Zen Sand Bottle. Imagine a world of stillness captured within a glass horizon. Picture layers of colored sand, shifting in waves like a desert at dawn, resting silently beneath the airbound grace of a talanzo. This is the Zen Sand Bottle, a pocket of peace designed to bring the spirit of the ancient dunes into your garden sanctuary. The sand, in its varied hues, represents the passing of time and the shifting nature of our thoughts. Above it, the plant grows without soil, a symbol of pure potential and the lightness of being. There is a deep, meditational quality to this site. It invites you to breathe, to let go of the noise, and to find your center within the stillness. It reminds us that even in the middle of our busiest days, we can find a desert of peace within ourselves. This bottle is a celebration of minimalism, of how little we actually need to feel grounded and whole. As you gaze into the layered sands, the garden around you seems to grow quiet, leaving you with nothing but the rhythm of your own heart and the timeless beauty of a single, silent plant. Nature has a way of teaching us that nothing is ever truly lost. It only waits for a new form, a new purpose. As you step back into your garden today, I hope you see the hidden potential in the simple things around you. Thank you for spending these quiet moments with me. Until next week, keep creating, keep dreaming, and let your garden tell your story. Goodbye for now.